Okay, folks, so it is 9/28, 2023, and that means it's been 1 year since, this little event occurred over here in Henderson, Southern Nevada. This light that you see here is the Basic International School of Studies, um, grandstand light by their football field, and what you just saw there was a very large spotlight, um, that flashes through the sky. And then a light comes down, like a little light sword kind of, and puts the grandstand light out. And now I have got it here with a few different filters, just kind of replaying it. I know I've shown this quite a few times in the last year, but I'm going to keep showing it until I get some definitive answers on exactly what was going on here. Because if you look really close at it and I show some zoomed in, I'm just going to go ahead and let this video here play forward, and then I'll put these clips at the end of this intro video too. But, what you're seeing there, what I believe we're seeing there is, um, some directed energy. This was, some kind of a sortie or some kind of a mission to test some laser systems, most likely. And, what's most curious about this is not just the light sword that, and the large spotlight that comes across and puts this light out, but just underneath this light, where this little light sword appears and hits that larger light, there's a little red laser dot that appears, okay? And this was not natural. This was something that was being directed by man. Because last I knew, Zeus didn't have a laser targeting system. Right there was the little red dot. Now I do show it closer, and I do apply some filters and slow it down as well, so that you can actually get a good look at the little red dot that appears. It's like a little laser sight right there. It just flashed. And then right after that, this light sword comes down and puts this grandstand light out for a split second. And it's interesting because the light spreads out from it, and then it's almost as if the light comes back in it, and then the spotlight goes off. And if you watch close, let me back this up really quick, because right before the light sweeps across, you'll see a very bright flash across the entire sky. So it's almost like as if something up high was flashing. I'll point it out when it happens here. Wait for it. There was the little flash in the sky, and then you see the spotlight come across, and then the light sword come down. Well, when we look at this a little bit closer with some filters, you see the spotlight shine on the sky right there in the distance. But I mean, it looks as if the light goes off, and then when it comes back on, it sweeps back out, almost like that's a dark beam, almost like that's one of them dark plasma beams. Just saying. And in this filter here, with the close-up, you can kinda get a better view of the grandstand lights and the posts that were holding up some of the other lights. Because this one here, I believe, was some kind of a floodlight and an emergency light thing. Because we were having quite a light storm when this was going on. So, um, folks, I don't think this was something that should be considered normal, and this is most definitely not an act of God. Because, like I said, and because 'cause I'm repetitive, I have to say it again. Last I knew, Zeus did not have laser targeting systems, okay? So, um, if they're using this as like a testing site or something, a laser testing range or something, that's one thing, but to to just take the liberty, this is an international school, and I'll show you that once again, like I had done before. This is the location of where it is at, and I'll zoom in here, and you can see. Right here is the Basic Academy of International Studies, and right here is their football field. And, oh, let me zoom out real quick. Yeah. Right here is where the camera was located, aimed off in this direction. So the large light that you're seeing there is the large light that is part of this football field here. And I do have, what did I do with that? Oh, there it is. Here's like a little intro video for the Basic Academy. You can see their campus here. And as this plays forward, it kind of circles around and you can see some of the football field here. And this was all new. Um, a few years ago, they had this field all completely tore up, and there was a giant hole down in here, and they put all this brand new turf in. And you can see right here is where the grandstand is at, and the camera would have been located up over here in this direction. And I just, you know, we're not that far from Nellis. I understand that. If we go to the map here, you can see. I'm gonna zoom out right there where the yellow star is. That is where the camera was located at. Let me zoom out a little bit further. Right up here is where Nellis is, and I can do like a measure the distance. I know I've done this before, but I feel like I gotta do it again. So let's see. Oh, I hate this thing. Anyway, you get kind of a rough idea. 14.7. It's under 15 miles, of our location to Nellis. And I see so much very interesting things that go on in the skies at night over in this direction too, over by Lake Mead. So it wouldn't surprise me if they weren't using this international school, this Academy of International Studies, which by the way now has got this large fence all the way around the property. It makes it look more like a prison since COVID. Um, it would not surprise me if they were using some of these international schools um, to conduct, you know, different tests and run little sorties and missions to test laser systems. And, it's not anything new when it comes to directing energy. I still want to share some of this information from some of these Congressional Research Service reports. Um, I just, they use laser technologies for defensive systems. They have been for quite a while. And this here from May of this year, May 18th of 2023, um, mentions a little bit about high energy lasers and using high powered microwave weapons as well. And they give the impression in these Congressional Research Service reports, these more recent ones, and like this one here from August 24th, um, they give this impression that, oh, it's still this new technology that we've been playing around with for a little bit, but we need to research and develop it some more. And, we need more secrecy. We need more privacy. We need more protections on our patents and on our technology so that another country doesn't steal it. But then in other files, they talk about how, Russia and China are developing all of this stuff and how it's this big threat. This is the pitch that the DoD gives to Congress to get all of the funding that they get for these different projects. And they've been getting funding for directed energies weapons for quite a while. So it really isn't anything new. So I don't think myself anyway, I don't think that it's unheard of that at these times like this back in 2018 when this Tesla coil here popped off in the backyard. And again, to put it into perspective, this right here is basic high school. So this event here, which occurred, you know, 4 years prior to the event that showed that lightsaber thing coming down and the little red laser target, this was the area right here. This is the grandstand. So this event here with this Tesla coil that popped off back in 2018 is in the same location. And I've captured so many different things happening in this same location right over by the Academy of International Studies. And now that Tesla coil there came and was produced from this same system that produced this line of energy that pushed down on our upper atmosphere. And in the background, in the video, you can see these sweeping beams. And this storm was producing these vertical, like blue, glowing plasma type beams. This was an insane storm. This was not natural, okay? This was something that was directed by man. And someone somewhere knows. And I am still trying very hard to find the answers because I want to know who was responsible for conducting this little test. Okay. And this dew that popped off a year ago, somebody knows because I guarantee you somebody was targeting the basic high school, the International Academy of Studies here in Henderson, Nevada. It's an IB school. Someone was targeting it back on September 28th of 2022, literally targeting it with a little red laser dot. Here's another close up of the filter. Right there is where the little dot appears. I'll back it up a few seconds and show it to you again. And there's a couple different other filters too. And you can see these are the grandstand posts from the grandstand. You can see this is the grandstand light. So someone somewhere was directing energy to the Basic Academy of International Studies back on September 28th of 2022. Okay? Someone somewhere knows. And I'm not going to stop until I find out exactly what was going on here, because Zeus doesn't have a laser targeting system. And I know I said that already before, but y'all, if you don't know by now that I'm repetitive and I blurt, then just keep watching. Okay? It's just, I don't consent myself personally. I don't have a problem if they want to research and develop these types of technologies, but it does not belong in the public theater. It does not belong in the heavily populated areas. It does not belong where people live and dwell. You have plenty of open spaces out here in Nevada and in lots of other remote areas. You need to continue to research and develop those types of technologies that produce Tesla coils and um, plasma beams out in areas where it's not populated until you have a little bit better control of it, because it would seem apparent to me that some of this energy that you are attempting to direct around our planet here inside our enclosed system gets out of your control and it causes devastating damage. And I don't consent. Once again, I do not consent. I'll keep saying it. I do not consent. I do not consent to being targeted by these Department of Defense agencies and these research and developers that are playing around with these energies and directing these energies around our planet. I do not consent. Period. That's it, folks. Just, I have to share it because it's been 1 year since someone targeted the Basic Academy of International Studies with a laser targeting system and a freaking lightning bolt, like a light sword. I don't consent. Directed energy weapons are real, and they're not a conspiracy theory. And I will not debate with anyone on whether or not they are a conspiracy theory. If you're watching this and you do not believe that directed energy weapons are real and that they are being researched, developed, and deployed in the public theater, then please pay attention to some of my future uploads, because I will be delving into some more when it comes to directed energy and some of these Congressional Research Service reports. And I'll be going into a little bit more information concerning lasers as well. And there's one other thing too. This was the laser one I'm going to go into. And there's another book that I want to touch on just a little bit too in another future video, called Antipodes in Search of the Southern Continent, because there's some interesting quotes and statements in this book here that I want to share. I just find very, very curious concerning our planet. And this was, I'll close with this here, the preface: imagining geographies. It is not given to man to envisage reality. His is the greater gift to brood over chaos and shape it as he wills. Clark Firestone. So I'm going to go into a little bit of this antipodian adventure in search of the southern continent as well in the future. So I will say welcome once again to the new subscribers. Um, any and all eyes are allies, whether you're here to see some of the witness testimony from the Maui videos, which I have more of those to upload, and I'm waiting for the Maui Council to upload their most recent meeting that they had yesterday on the 27th as well, so I can kind of go through that one and clip out all the witness testimonies from that as well. So I still have more from the Maui fires and the Maui testimonies and that story going on there with Hawaii to share, as well as some additional information too about the Janet fleet that I want to share as well. There's so much that I want to share, but whether you're here
for whatever reasons and subscribe to my channel, just know that everything happens for a reason as far as I'm concerned. And just know that I appreciate you. And please stay safe and mindful and stay tuned. There's definitely more to come if I can help it.